This thumbnail completely sucks, and so many YouTubers, big and small, are actually making this mistake right now where they are very incongruent. You can see in the thumbnail that it looks like I have this super nice background, that my face is Mr. Beastified, and you would assume based upon that thumbnail that you're going to see a very nice background in a very highly produced setting with a ton of edits throughout this video, but that is incongruent with my content. So there is this massive incongruency between the content that you are getting and the thumbnail that is promised. But that's just really touching the surface. The thumbnail really needs to be congruent with the video. So Mr. Beast is hyper editing. He's even doing these complete graphic animations in the video. So when you see this AI looking thumbnail that's super flashy, that's actually what you get in the video. So it is a congruent video. And then we'll take someone on an opposite extreme, Sam Sulek, who does not do any thumbnails or titles. All he's doing is raw footage of him working out and going through it. And that is also congruent because Sam Sulek is just being this raw entity, and the titles and thumbnails match that. But I see a lot of people who are doing that kind of raw footage also trying to emulate Mr. Beast. So there's an incongruency there, but it actually goes a lot further than that. I don't think people realize how much congruency really matters. And I feel bad, but I'm going to completely shit on this guy's channel, and I hope that he sees it because he's making a mistake that is really hurting him. So we're going to start with this video of how CEOs manage their inbox. Just look at the thumbnail. It looks super, super highly produced from a thumbnail perspective. Look at his face is looking good. His eyes are bright. They're blue. The whites of his eyes are showing. Common practices that people show you that you need in a YouTube thumbnail. And you can see from a graphic design perspective, it is super, super high. And if you watch the video, you will realize it's super highly produced, super highly edited. If I had to guess, he hired a team, and you know what that team's doing? They are taking Mr. Beast and Alex Hormozi because they've seen the two success. Let's say Alex Hormozi has this very highly edited content and it's working very well. He's getting millions and millions of views per month. But why does that not work for this guy? Because Alex Hormozi looks like his ideal audience, actual avatar that they are trying to see. Who is Alex Hormozi's ideal avatar, or who watches his videos? Is usually younger people who are motivated trying to start a business. Let's just take it at that face value, or just all entrepreneurs because he has the information. But how does he act? What does he look like? How are his mannerisms? He wears a wife beater with a flannel, shorts, and usually Crocs or some open-toed shoes. So that is how young people like to dress. There's this huge trend of young people, they get rich and then they just want to dress like a bum. And young people today don't really dress up. And they are really into working out. So that is exactly who Alex Hormozi is. And he is portraying that perfectly for his ideal audience. And he's just being himself. But this guy is trying to make videos like Alex Hormozi with the high edits for an older demographic. Right? That's the incongruency of this guy. He is trying to target an old demographic. Just look at this video, how CEOs manage their inbox, and that just sucks. And you're saying this, oh, Josh, you have no subscribers. How can you say this? I work with people that have massive social medias. And if you wanted to rename this title, you know what I would say? Instead of how CEOs manage their inbox, I would say something along the lines of the #1 hack all successful CEOs do. Something along those lines. I'm just literally brainstorming live here. And then in the thumbnail, I would just maybe have one of the male things with the 0. And then that's sparking curiosity and tension, saying, what is it with male that all of these CEOs that are successful actually do? And I would cut back on the editing because older people don't need edits. This guy, no young person is going to think, wow, this guy's cool. But that's how he's trying to be portrayed as the cool guy like Alex Hormozi and making these Mr. Beast-style thumbnails. That is not attracting older CEOs because they don't perform their videos like that. So you have to know who your ideal audience is, how to target them, and how to get as many people as possible, because young people would still be interested in the #1 hack that all successful CEOs do. But older people are not going to be interested in this. And young people, no one would be interested in how CEOs manage their inbox because most of them are not CEOs. Most young people today don't even care about actually handling email. It's just not as common practice. So let's compare that to this video that did exceptionally well. I got 116,000 views. I spent 100 plus hours with 4 billionaires. Here's what I learned. And what's different about this video? It is first off sparking a bunch of curiosity. You see the net worth 6.9 billion. You see someone blur out so you don't know who it is, but you're obviously insinuating that they're a billionaire. And then you see him, and it is much less edited. So I think by accident, he much less edited this thumbnail, sparking the curiosity that's really needed. And so now there's this massive wave of people trying to copy Sam Sulek, where they're being much rawer, putting behind the scenes footage up there, doing very unedited long form videos because they think that's the new meta. Or other people say, oh, let's just do that Mr. Beast because that's the meta. Whereas none of that is it, all of it is true, but people misconceive that someone else had success, therefore they need to copy it in the exact same way. Whereas they don't understand that the reason why these two people who are making videos in such different ways were both so successful was because they were just being themselves. That's the number one thing. People need to be themselves, and the congruency would follow. If you weren't trying to portray yourself as someone else or not trying to do something for someone else, because obviously, and not, I don't mean to pick on this guy, but the reason why this guy is doing it is because he obviously wants to get more views, he wants to get more success, and he thinks this is the reason to do it, is to edit like this. But if he was doing it more his style, then I bet the results would actually be better, at least for his ideal demographic. I don't know if he has a business on the back end. I don't actually watch his videos. I was just researching and I found this guy by accident. And then I just broke down, well, why is this guy not getting the results that he probably is hoping for? Because I would bet a significant amount of money that he's paying probably 100 grand a month right now producing these videos that I think are getting such seldom results. You can say, well, Josh, he's getting a hell of a lot more views than you, and some videos are actually doing really well. That is a correct statement. But for the amount of money that he's putting in, the output that he's getting is so minuscule to what he should be. At least I think that he would be if he was at least adding some congruency, because he's completely mixing and matching. He's targeting young people, whereas making videos for old people, and nobody's going to like him because of that. Because young people can smell the inauthenticity. He's acting like an old person, but editing like a young person. It just doesn't make sense. Something would have to change. And I'm not saying don't edit at all. I'm just saying you don't need the autistic style editing. I actually think Alex Hormozi slightly messes that up. Or if I was running his team, what I would do is I would keep the edits that help visually illustrate the video better. And that's what I would focus all the time on. That is super important editing. But what he's doing a lot of flashy stuff to keep you on the screen, because that's what Mr. Beast does, which it may work from a psychological level, but I think is actually slightly counterintuitive when you understand who your ideal demographic is and when you want that older audience, because that's really what drives the revenue. Young people today, they may get AdSense, but the people who are buying your products, if you're, let's say, running this massive business that are trying to attract intelligent or wealthy investors, it's usually going to be older people. And those are the ones that also perform best on these email sequences. So you really need to understand who you are targeting and how you target to them.